He thought he could ruin my life by outing me in front of my entire town. He didn't know one thing. Revenge isn't just about anger, it's about precision. By the time I was done, his perfect little future had gone up in flames. If you love seeing justice served in ways that are smart, calculated, and satisfying, hit that subscribe button right now. Smash that like button and comment below. Would you have done what I did? This isn't just revenge. It's poetic justice, and it's about to get messy. I grew up in a small, conservative town in the heart of hick country. You know the type, where everyone knows your business, everyone has an opinion, and being anything other than straight and conventional paints a target on your back. I realized I was gay early on, but I also understood the stakes. Coming out here wasn't just unpopular, it could be dangerous. My plan was simple: stay quiet, survive high school, and get out. But life had a different plan for me. It was around the time a certain senator from Vermont announced his candidacy for president. I was 17, an edgy high school senior, terminally online, and convinced that I could change the world, or at least sound like I was trying. I threw myself into online activism, mostly on Reddit, but my real weapon was Twitter. I had a fan account with around 10,000 followers, and I never shut up about politics. To me, this was serious stuff. To the rest of my town, I was a loudmouth teenager with too much free time. I didn't think anyone would pay attention, until they did. Here's what I didn't account for. All that attention also made it easy for someone to dig deeper. Someone like Alex. He was a straight A student, popular in the conventional sense, and had Ivy League aspirations. But he was also petty, vindictive, and apparently had way too much time on his hands. One day, Alex decided to investigate my Twitter history. And after scrolling for what had to be hours, he found it, likes on gay porn from 6 months prior. Without hesitation, Alex sent screenshots to practically everyone in town. My classmates, my parents, neighbors, even some local adults. That was the moment I realized how quickly power could shift. Suddenly, I wasn't just the online political kid. I was the weird gay troublemaker in the eyes of my small town. The fallout? Surprisingly, not catastrophic. My parents took a week or so to adjust, but eventually accepted it. Most adults just avoided me. School? Sure, there was teasing and gossip, but it fizzled faster than I expected. And me? I was burning with rage. Alex had crossed a line that wasn't just personal. It was about control, power, and humiliation. I needed to respond, and I needed it to hurt. Here's the thing about Alex. His life was built on two things. One, the money and influence of his parents, and two, his pristine public image. Take those away, and the carefully constructed future he had planned would crumble. Alex's parents were the archetype of old-money, small-town conservative elite. His dad was a lawyer, his mom was socially involved, both deeply embedded in local politics and church circles. Alex himself? Spoiled, entitled, and used to getting away with everything. But he had skeletons in his closet, and I intended to dust them off. Step 1, the minor drug scandal. When Alex was 15, he dabbled in dealing weed for about a month, completely out of character for the valedictorian everyone loved. I knew this because a friend and I had bought weed from him back then. Alex still had the conversation threads on his phone. So, I subtly suggested it to his parents, then had a mutual friend present the screenshots in person after Sunday service. His perfect image started cracking immediately. Step 2, the abortion cover-up. A year before outing me, Alex had impregnated a girl. He paid for the abortion, but the arrangement was hush-hush. When I suggested she post about it publicly, she was furious at Alex for outing me, but willing to cooperate to even the score. She shared screenshots and context on the town's Facebook group. Overnight, Alex transformed in the eyes of the community, from golden boy to a manipulative, irresponsible young man. Step 3. The alt-right trolling account. Alex had been using a pseudonymous account to harass black students at school. Racist slurs, monkey jokes, all of it. Multiple people reported him, but without proof, nothing could be done. Until I noticed a pattern. He sometimes used school computers to log in. I tipped off the IT department, and within days he was caught red-handed, suspended, and forced to publicly apologize. That was the final nail in the coffin for his reputation. By the time graduation rolled around, Alex was no longer the model son with an Ivy League future neatly laid out. His parents, outraged, cut him off financially. He still got into an Ivy League school, sure, but without parental support, he had to juggle part-time work, school, and living expenses. Within a year, he dropped out. From a valedictorian destined to become a D.C. lawyer to a part-time working college dropout, Alex's carefully curated life lay in ruins. And to this day, he's reportedly divorced, absent as a father, and struggling in multi-level marketing schemes just to scrape by. The golden boy? Gone. The man who tried to destroy me? Watching his empire collapse from the ground up. But here's the key. I didn't act out of cruelty. I acted out of necessity, out of justice. Alex weaponized my identity against me. He tried to take my life, my truth, and make it a source of shame. I didn't just strike back. I dismantled the pillars that allowed him to think he could get away with it. It wasn't chaos. It was precision. I remember the moment it all clicked. Sitting at my desk, my fingers hovering over my phone, thinking about the way Alex smiled like he owned everything, I felt a rush of clarity. This wasn't about revenge in the moment. It was about dismantling a future built on entitlement, deceit, and malice. It was about showing that actions have consequences, even if your world seems untouchable. I reached out to people who had been hurt by Alex. I presented evidence of his misdeeds in a careful, verifiable way. Each step calculated. Each revelation undeniable. And the beauty of it? I didn't have to lie. I didn't have to exaggerate. Reality was enough. I watched from a distance as the carefully constructed facade of his life unraveled. I watched as his parents, shocked and disappointed, withdrew support. I watched as his peers who once admired him recoiled. And I finally breathed, not in vindictive triumph, but in relief. I was free. My life was my own. I had survived, and justice, slow, meticulous justice, had been served. Psychologically, it was intoxicating, but it was also instructive. Alex thought he had power because he could humiliate me, because he understood how small-town judgment worked. But he underestimated one crucial thing: foresight, patience, strategic thinking. The very qualities he mocked in me became the instruments of his downfall. By the end, I didn't just get revenge. I reclaimed autonomy, dignity, and respect. Alex lost far more than I ever could have imagined, not because I was cruel, but because he thought cruelty could be exercised without consequence. That's the ultimate lesson. True power lies not in immediate retribution, but in the slow, inevitable unraveling of those who try to harm you. Alex's life is a cautionary tale. The boy who tried to control, shame, and manipulate others ended up controlling nothing, struggling to maintain a life that once seemed predestined. Meanwhile, I survived, thrived, and proved that living authentically, with integrity and patience, can be far more powerful than any impulsive act of malice. The best revenge isn't anger. It's strategy. It's foresight. It's letting the natural consequences of one's actions manifest in full. And in my case, watching the golden boy fall from grace while I stayed standing? That's a satisfaction no punch could ever deliver. Sometimes the world seems unfair. People think they can hurt you with impunity. But there's a balance. Every action has a reaction. Every choice has consequences. The universe has a way of evening the scales, sometimes with your hands guiding it, sometimes with life itself. If you love this story of smart, satisfying revenge, hit that like button and subscribe for more stories where karma is crafted with precision. Comment below. If someone tried to ruin your life, how would you get justice? Share this video and remind people living well is sometimes the most powerful revenge of all.